Hello, guys. Welcome to Uncommon Sense. I'm your host, Greg Lane, and this show is going to talk about whataboutism. Now, before I start, I want to tell you specifically where whataboutism comes from. Whataboutism is a propaganda tool that was originally used by the Soviets in the Cold War, and it was essentially used to justify their totalitarian and brutal ruling practices by pointing to the West and our inadequacies. They pointed to the struggle in the debate around the Civil Rights Act, they pointed to economic inequality, and they pointed to, put it this way, they pointed to a lot of things that we did that they didn't appreciate. But today, whataboutism is commonly used as a distancing tool. It's essentially someone trying to distance themselves from the responsibility of their actions. The best example I can give to this, and the most obvious one, is Roy Moore. For those of you who were in a coma at the time, Roy Moore was a Senate candidate who was accused of having carnal relations with underage girls when he was in his 30s. Now, typically, he would just go through a court process, but he was running for Senate, and of course, they had to do PR damage control. So, in some cases, some pundits want to talk about other cases of sexual misconduct. They want to talk about Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, Al Franken, Bill Clinton, and a litany of others. Now, of course, the thing about whataboutism is that it's not meant to actually discuss the current topic. It's meant to distance. The core phrase of whataboutism is the fundamental belief, and frankly, in my opinion, a fact, that people are imperfect. Let me put it this way. It would be pretty hard to find someone of a certain age, like say, let's use my age, 26 years old, who has made no mistakes, no embarrassments, and had no things happen to them, or they have done, that they've regretted. Now, does that mean that you should talk about other people's mistakes in order to distract from your own? Of course not. Doing that doesn't absolve you from your sins. It frankly just makes you try to weasel your way out of it. And of course, whataboutism isn't very applicable in the courtroom because, frankly, let's be real, if you were on trial for armed robbery, you can't just bring up O.J. Simpson and expect to be acquitted of it. That would be a stupid idea and a stupid practice. But of course, whataboutism is continually used. They like to equate other issues with current ones. For instance, when Republicans are accused of being racist or homophobic, they bring up the fact that the Democrats are the party of the Confederacy, despite the fact that that was 150 years ago and there's been a plethora of policy changes and position changes in both parties. Republicans may have freed the slaves, and they may have opted for certain beliefs back then, but to equate the Republican Party of 1864 with the Republican Party of 2020 would be like trying to compare a dragon fruit to a coconut. Anyway, so that actually ties into my advice of what to avoid. Avoid anyone who subscribes to whataboutism or always engages in it whenever you try to bring something up related to either individuals they support or themselves. Because someone who cannot face their own issues and their own responsibilities and likes to deflect the attention onto others, frankly, has never had to take responsibility for those things. And frankly, someone who takes responsibility for nothing will frankly feel free to do whatever the hell they want to do. Anyway, that's my show. This is Uncommon Sense. I'm Greg Lane, and never stop learning.